Hi, I'm Kevin Michalowski, editor of Concealed Carry Magazine. Let's talk about the difference between the requirements for training and the need for training. In a recent episode of Into the Fray, I said that I felt it was a travesty that the state of Wisconsin allowed people to get their firearms permit with just a hunter's education card. Maybe I misspoke a little bit. Perhaps the travesty is that people are willing to go and get their concealed carry permit with just the training provided from a hunter education class. Hunter education class gives you nothing in the form of learning things like deadly force decision making and the legal justification for the use of deadly force. Now, there is a big difference between the requirement for training and the need for training. In many cases, the requirement for training is just an arbitrary number put in place by politicians to raise the barrier, to put a barrier in place to stop people from getting their concealed carry permits. The more hours that they can require of training, the fewer people will go out and get their concealed carry permits. But the reason I suggest that anyone who gets a concealed carry permit follow through with very serious and important training is that there is one true thing in any deadly force incident. That one true thing is there will be an investigation. And here in the state of Wisconsin, we're required to take 4 hours of concealed carry training. And you can bet that if I'm involved in a deadly force incident, there will be more than 4 hours of investigation into my actions leading up to and during that deadly force incident. So whether or not there's a requirement for training in your state, there is certainly a need for training. And if you carry your pistol concealed and have absolutely no training at all, you are in grave danger of not only causing yourself legal problems, but losing everything you own, your house, your car, your job, your freedom, your family, because you may have done what you thought was the right thing, but come to find out later that you really had no idea what was going on legally. The laws regarding concealed carry and the use of deadly force are amazingly complex. They're also amazingly vague, which gives prosecutors and defenders great latitude in how they're going to argue your case. Even if there is no requirement for training in your area, I beg you to get the training you need to ensure that you are a responsibly armed citizen. Get as much training as you can afford. Get as much training as you have the time to attend. Don't ever think that you can simply put on a gun and walk out into the world and defend yourself not knowing the laws, not knowing the tactics, not knowing the basic elements of what it takes to defend yourself legally. Remember, we're legally armed citizens. We're responsibly armed citizens. It's our job to know the law. Now, the government can require us to take a certain amount of training, or we can do it responsibly and do it on our own. But either way, we are going to be held accountable when we fire that pistol, when we defend ourselves. Someone is going to come and ask us what we did and how we did it, and we are going to be required to articulate what happened. We'll be talking to a police officer, we'll be talking to a district attorney, and hopefully we'll be talking to a defense attorney. And we had better know what we were doing up to and including that shooting. You had better be able to tell people what you were doing and why the circumstances surrounding this incident led you to take the actions that you did. I'm Kevin Michalowski, editor of Concealed Carry Magazine. This has been Into the Fray.